Hello everyone and welcome back to Oba's Trending Gist. Today we are diving deep into a financial whirlpool that has got everyone talking. Allegations of trillions of naira missing, unaccounted for, at the very heart of our financial system, that is the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. This isn't just a trending topic, it is a matter of national importance that demands our full attention. So, the headlines are stark. The Foundation for Investigative Journalism, Fitch, and Punch newspaper are both reporting on a staggering situation. We are talking about an audit that points to a monumental 1.44 trillion naira missing from the CBN, with questions swirling around the current governor, Yemi Cardoso, and his inability so far to provide clear explanation. Adding fuel to this fire, the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, that is SERAP, has stepped in, giving the CBN governor a 7-day ultimatum to account for an even larger sum, that is 3 trillion naira, or face legal actions. The way these people they call money, what they miss. So, what's the background here? This bombshell dropped on September 9th when the Auditor-General of the Federation released a 2022 audited report. This report laid bare a shocking discovery. The CBN failed to remit, hold on a bit, 1 trillion, 445 billion, 593 billion, 400,000. Did you hear that? That's about 1.44 trillion naira of the federal government's operating surplus in the Consolidated Revenue Fund (CFR) account. 2 months later, the CBN Governor Yemi Cardoso has yet to publicly address this massive discrepancy. SERAP, a prominent non-governmental organization dedicated to civil or civic advocacy, saw these revelations as deeply troubling. They've expanded their focus beyond just 1.44 trillion naira, demanding explanation for a total of 3 trillion naira, which include these unremitted funds and other alleged financial irregularities. The argument is simple yet profound. These findings paint a grim picture of a severe lack of transparency and accountability at the CBN, potentially violating our constitution and the anti-corruption laws. This isn't just about numbers. It is about the very trust Nigerians place in our institutions and the integrity of our public funds. Now, let's get into my critical take on this unfolding saga. The 3 trillion naira figure SERAP is demanding an account for isn't just a randomly picked number. It is a sum derived from a series of alarming findings detailed in that Auditor-General's report. Beyond the 1.44 trillion naira operating surplus that reportedly went unremitted, there are several other critical areas of concern that speaks volumes about the state of financial mismanagement or financial management within the CBN. First, the report highlights over 629 billion naira paid out as part of the Anchor Brewers program to unknown beneficiaries. Think about that. A program meant to bolster food security and support farmers, yet a substantial portion of the funds allegedly vanished into thin air, with no record of who received them. The Auditor-General even fears the money may have been diverted directly, impacting our national food security. This isn't just financial mismanagement. It is a potential betrayal of trust for the very farmers meant to benefit. Then we have over 784 billion naira in 32 unpaid overdue loans and interventions disbursed by CBN between 2018 and May 2022. The Auditor-General found no evidence that bank was doing enough to recover the loans and the interventions which ought to have been paid. This is a massive amount of public money seemingly left unrecovered, raising serious questions about the CBN's due process or due diligence and commitment to recouping public funds. The report further exposes over 125 billion naira spent on questionable intervention activities. The CBN claimed these were for national security, federal and state security, armed forces, and financial sector capacity building. However, the Auditor-General is deeply concerned that this money may have been spent without the approval of the National Assembly, and crucially, no supporting document was available to that effect. This points to a potential bypass of established financial protocol and a severe lack of accountability. Let us not forget the 1.79 billion naira reportedly spent to purchase 43 operational vehicles for the Nigerian Immigration Service. The Auditor-General deemed this unjustified as it has no direct connection to the CBN's objectives. To make matters worse, there is reportedly no evidence that these vehicles were even supplied or delivered, and critical procurement and payment records are missing. Again, the fear is the money may have been diverted. Omo, no be small thing though. And the list continues. 43 contracts totaling over 189 billion naira saw contractors deliberately delay completion, then request variations, leading to an irregular variation of contract price of over 9 billion naira. For these two, no relevant procurement documents such as contract files, procurement records, and payment vouchers were available. The Auditor-General suggests these projects might have been abandoned and the money diverted. Finally, a smaller but equally concerning 90 million naira from the Katsina CBN branch disbursed as COVID-19 loan of SMEs remains unrecovered with fear of diversion or mismanagement. Now, so they whack money for this country, they will chop money while poor people are suffering. All these revelations meticulously detailed in the Auditor-General's report and highlighted by SERAP paints a troubling picture. SERAP isn't just asking for answer. They are demanding action. They want Governor Cardoso to explain how this 3 trillion naira left the Apex Bank's treasury, to identify those responsible for this alleged mismanagement, and to hand them over to EFCC and the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences, that is ICPC, for necessary actions. SERAP ground its demand firmly in the law, citing Section 15(5) of the Nigerian Constitution, which requires public institutions to abolish all corrupt practices and abuse of power. They also refer to Section 13 of the Constitution and Paragraph 3112 II of the Financial Regulations 2009, which states that any public officer failing to account for government revenue should be surcharged and handed over to anti-graft agencies. The core of SERAP's argument is that Nigerians have an undeniable right to know the whereabouts of public funds. The silence from Cardoso 2 months after the audited report became public regarding the 1.44 trillion naira is deafening. In a country grappling with economic hardship, such allegations of massive financial irregularities at the central bank are not just numbers. They represent potential resources diverted from critical sectors, from development, and from the pockets of ordinary Nigerians, you and I. Now our money did the chop. So where do we go from here? SERAP's 7 days ultimatum issued in a letter dated November 15th is a ticking clock. If no satisfactory explanation is provided within this time frame, SERAP has vowed to take all appropriate legal actions to compel compliance in the public interest. But my problem with even SERAP is that they have so many lawsuits against the government that they've not win any case. I don't know what happens to past cases. They will sue. After everything, nothing will happen. So, this isn't just a stern warning. It is a promise to hold power accountable. This entire situation underscores the urgent need for transparency and robust accountability mechanism within all public institutions, especially one as crucial as Central Bank of Nigeria. The economic stability and public trust of our nation hinges on it. What are your thoughts on these allegations? Do you believe Governor Cardoso and the CBN will provide adequate answers within SERAP's ultimatum? Share your opinions in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Obas Training Gist for more critical analysis, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next update. Until next time, stay informed, stay vigilant, and let's keep the conversation going.